Okay, so now that you all have this lovely creature right here, which is showing you where everything's meant to go on the face, we're going to come back to the other piece of paper now, and we're going to see if we can draw in these facial features in more detail. Now, if after this tutorial you still don't understand how to draw each of the facial features, there are plenty of YouTube clips on YouTube, obviously. So you are more than welcome to watch those in your own time or after this tutorial. But this is the way that I want you to be drawing these facial features because I believe that it is the simplest and easiest way for you to grasp each of the things. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the eye again. So all of these on this side is where we're going to be drawing our detailed versions. So starting off with, again, a circle for that basic shape. Do not draw your detailed versions on this side here, please. Okay, so really lightly this time. Okay, so now that we've drawn the basic shape of the circle and the dogs have stopped barking as well, fantastic. What we're going to do is draw the, what's it called? The eyelids of the eye. So imagine that this is your tear duct on this side and this is the edge of your eye over here. If we were looking at a face, it would be the right eye. So what we're going to do is from the middle of the circle, try and draw a line that is the upper eyelid. Okay. The circle shape underneath is the actual eyeball of your eye. We will erase this a little bit later, but for now we're going to leave it there. Okay, then what I've done is done like a bit of a semicircle, small semicircle curve. That's going to be our tear duct. And then finally connect it back up to the other side and draw the lower part of your eyelid. Now, what I'm thinking is this top eyelid is a bit too, almost like the eye's too closed. So I'm just going to erase and redo that one. I'll show you another example of how I've drawn eyes when I'm feeling a little bit better a little bit later on. Okay, so we have both of the eyelids now drawn in. What we're going to do now is draw in the coloured part of the eye. I always forget what this is called. If you guys have any idea, fantastic. Okay, so the coloured part of the eye is a circle, but you lose part of that circle up here. You don't have to draw that in. I'm just showing you. Make sure that it is circle shape, but it doesn't go under the bottom eyelid. Then what you're going to do is draw in the pupil. The pupil is again a circle shape and it should be dead center in between. Is it the iris? Is that what this is called? Anyway, yeah, should be dead center in between that. You can color that in if you like. Don't color it in too dark though at this stage. The final thing that you're going to do is draw a little mini circle next to the iris. Does anyone have any idea what that might be? I don't know whether you've answered, but it is a highlight. So we're going to leave that totally white. Okay. All right. While we're here at the iris, I think that's what it's called, we're going to colour it in. So what you're going to do is using different tones. So at the moment, I would say that I'm going around this as a mid-tone. I'm just adding in lines that kind of lead into the iris. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is press a bit darker. If it was you guys, I'm changing my colour because I'm on my computer. And I'm going to go around again. Okay, this is really dodgy. I'll show you an example in a moment. Okay, your lines can also come in from the pupil, okay, and go out. What it should look like is like that. Okay, that is essentially what you're drawing. Here you can see that is my highlight just there that I was trying to keep white. Okay, nope, that is the wrong one. Still the wrong one. We made it. Okay. So now that I've got, say I've added tone to that perfectly like I showed you beforehand, and this is looking amazing. Yours will be, mine certainly isn't. Then what we're going to do is add in some extra details to the outer edges of the eye. So not the iris and the pupil. Okay. So our eyelids, they have a bit of a lip. I would call it a tabletop. Oh goodness. I call it a tabletop. It's obviously not a tabletop, but it's kind of where your eyelashes sit. Have a look at the person sitting next to you and see if you can work out what I mean by that. I'm also going over that initial line, which was the eyelids, just to make that stand out a bit more. Okay, tabletop. Another one over here. Another line. This is not the best example, sorry guys. Okay, then what I'm going to do is this circle here. We're going to erase that to a certain extent and we're going to add another new line instead. So this bottom part here, Miss Dawson's part of this is very pronounced because I have a vein that actually goes through this part. It's the part where it makes you look like you haven't slept in years. But it's the bottom part of your eye that's underneath the skin. So we're going to add in that line there. And we're going to erase, if we can. Mine's going to erase the eye too. How exciting. There we go. Erase that other part if you can. Okay, so we've got that top part. Sorry, that bottom part. Now we're adding in the top part. Erase that if you can as well. Okay, starting to look more like an eye, but we're still missing one part, two parts actually. We need some eyelashes. Now the eyelashes, you want to start at the base where they're growing in the eye, and you want to flick out, okay? And you want to slowly take your pencil off as you go and curve around. All right, so let's try and do that over here. Add in, oh my goodness, what just happened with my paintbrush? Okay, you want to add in a small amount to begin with, and then we can layer them up afterwards. I don't want to see any spider looking eyelashes though. Make them look natural. If you want to make them a little bit longer, that's when you go over and you do another layer. Okay. Alright. When we're drawing faces, it's fantastic because you always have someone else's face that you can look at around you. So have a look at the person sitting next to you or opposite you and have a look at what are their eyelashes doing? Or what are other parts of their eyes doing that you could draw in on your drawing? Okay, the final thing that we're going to do, I'm going to re-go over this line here again, re-go over the pupil because that's not dark enough, is we can add in a little bit of shadow in the eye. The first bit of shadow is this here because that's actually a circle there, and then this is the tear duct. Okay, so I'm going to add in a little bit there. The top layer of your eyelashes casts a bit of shadow on your eyeball, so I'm adding that in. And then there's a little bit of shadow down here too. Imagine that the eye is a circle, like the orange that we drew earlier in the term. So you draw in that shape and then you give it form by adding tone. We all know all about tone. Okay, this is looking somewhat like an eye. But if I go back over here, that is what your eye should be looking like. Okay, what you can also start to do then is to add in some eyebrows as well, if you like. That's optional. See if you can give that a go. Yourself, again, have a look at your friend's eyebrows and see if you can go from there. Okay, well done, guys. Play this video back if you want to have another look.